What's up, y'all? Thanks again for all the new subscribers. I hope y'all enjoyed my first video with Morning Game, and then also my new stories. You know, I've been kind of reaching back into some of the years when I was just kind of starting out in the game in my early 20s, and even in high school and things of that nature. What kind of helped me get to this point, and what helped get me into the tech industry, and what, some of my ups and downs. A lot of IT professionals, they don't want to talk about those kind of things. They just want to say, well, hey, I just went to college. But no, there's been y'all gonna hear some trivial stories. It's a little different that you probably wouldn't have heard from other IT professionals. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, how to look for remote positions. Remember, I broke that down. I'm going to try to be a little shorter tonight because I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. But hopefully that helped. Hopefully y'all were able to see when I went to, when I went to the grocery store, I seen some robo janitors. And that kind of, when I seen that kind of really brought up my spidey sense, because I noticed that when you see a lot of manual work being replaced by robots and machines and things of that nature, it makes you really kind of wonder. It really makes you really wonder about where are things going, so hopefully you guys were able to see that. I made that on one of my reels, and I was kind of following this thing around, and it stopped whenever I was right in front of it. It was like a sensor or something like that. So I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, we went ahead and covered that. We talked about how to find remote jobs for home positions. I've been doing my story times. I'm gonna at least try to do one a day or one every couple days, because I know it kind of helps the algorithms, and you guys are really helping sharing and subscribing to all of your friends that's interested in getting into information technology and things of that nature. And I might have a couple of my different stories. I like to tell those on video, but I might start telling some of the stories on the podcast. But I like to save the podcast for like a lot of information and articles. The last time we talked about when I was doing some work and they put me up on this covert development plan. Well, I decided to fire my boss. I went ahead and told him the other day. I didn't necessarily give them my 2-week notice. I basically said that, I'll be out of there mid-December. And then they can make their decision on if they want to let me go early. But I could get a couple more checks, and I could build up my little 401, right before I roll out. Now, there's a couple different articles that I wanted to cover this evening. So make sure you guys tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe some of this information. But before I do that, I want to go right into some information that a brother sent me. And what he did is he was working at a managed service company, and he sent me support questions to ask cloud support technicians. So I want to go into that, and I want to read that off right away. Some of the questions that they're going to ask you. And they basically said that these are general networking, general screening questions. And it's quite a few of them here, but I'm going to read them off. And it's in regards to infrastructure support, networking support, email support, and VDI support. Now, I haven't heard from this, but this is for Veeam. This is for some Veeam questions, some support questions. The first question is, what is forever forward incremental? The answer is forever forward incremental is a backup plan where a single full backup is taken at the start of the backup chain, and every subsequent backup is an incremental backup. So basically it's backing up only the changes. And then the next question they have is, what is a grandfather son backup? Well, this is a backup plan where full backups are completed on specified days of the run cycle and tagged as grandfather, so yearly. Father would be monthly and son would be weekly. So a retention period is set for each part, and they're retained for the retention period despite the incremental backups connecting to full backups clearing out after meeting retention. And these are basically how the software backs stuff up with Veeam. Then they said, what is a synthetic backup? Well, synthetic backups are full backups that are created by combining the data from previous incremental backups with the last full backup. What are retention points and why are they important? Well, retention points are how many backups need to be kept for a specific job before getting rid of it. For example, with 7 retention points on a daily backup, the job will keep the backup files for the first 7 days in the repository. And on the 8th day, when the job runs again, the very first backup job will be cleared on having met the retention period. I'm going to skip this other thing because I'm not really sure too much about Zerto, but there's some network support screening questions they give you. What's the difference between an IP address and a MAC address? The answer is a MAC address is physical and an IP address is logical. So the MAC address is typically hard coded into a network interface card. So if you have a network interface card, or when you think about a network jack, that MAC address is going to be hard coded. And sometimes cyber hackers are able to spoof it. They're able to make it seem as if that's not the right address and they can switch the address, but that's hacking. What is the 3-step TCP handshake? Well, the answer is send and acknowledge, and acknowledge. What is STP and what does it do? That's spanning tree protocol. It's a link management protocol that provides path redundancy while providing undesirable loops in the network. Now, what's the difference between UDP and TCP? Well, think about Netflix. That would be like a UDP protocol. So when you're doing streaming, you're not really looking for... Well, okay, here's the difference between UDP. TCP is basically connection oriented. So basically, I pick up the phone, I give you a call. You answer and say, hey, what's up, DP? And I say, hey, I'll meet you over here. So I'm calling you, I'm reaching out to you, you respond, and then I respond back. UDP is a connectionless protocol. So TCP establishes a connection between the sender and the receiver before data can be sent. So it's almost like I'm sending you a Cash App. Well, let's say I send you a text. Hey, Joe, are you at home? Yeah, man, I'm at home. Okay, I'm gonna send you this Cash App, man, so we can go out for beer on Friday. So UDP is not establishing it. UDP is just like me calling you. You don't even have to necessarily pick up. I'm just gonna keep on calling you until you do pick up, but I'm not looking for you to confirm that you picked up. I'm just gonna call. What is a VPN? Virtual private network. They said virtual peer network. I guess they changed the definition. I don't know. So basically, let's say you're at a coffee shop. And you guys probably already know this. You're at a coffee shop and you want to use Amazon, or you wanted your information to be encrypted. You might want to log into a VPN if you're on a public Wi-Fi network. What is an SSL VPN? That's client-based VPN. What is a point-to-point VPN? That's a firewall-to-firewall VPN. What is a gateway? The exit and entry point for network traffic. What layer does a switch sit on? That's layer 2 and layer 3. Layer 3 is a managed switch. What is DHCP and what does it stand for? That's Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. So basically, think of it as a phone book, or think of it as an address. So, each house has an address. And let's say I got 30 homeless people, and I'm gonna assign each person an address. Think of it kind of like that. What else did they ask? They asked email support questions. What is an Exchange database? It's a repository where all mailboxes live. What is the difference between an OST and a PST? Well, OST is used with Exchange environments. PST is used with IMAP and POP3 environments. And it's also used as an archiving solution. What's some other things that I could give you guys on this? They're asking a little bit about Active Directory. Let's get into... Alright, let's get into the VDI screening questions. Why would you want to use a VDI versus a local desktop? So here's all the answers that would be acceptable. It's beneficial for user management, protecting data. It helps prevent virus infections from spreading. It's a controlled environment, and it's cheaper cost to maintain a local desktop. So instead of the company sending you a local desktop or a laptop, they'll just give you some login information, and you can log in a virtual desktop environment, and you can use your own laptop, and you should be able to log into that anywhere in the world. They don't got to worry about asset management. Somebody doesn't have to ship it in the mail. That costs money. They don't have to worry about you having to set it up and run all these Windows updates and all that. The system administrator is going to handle all that on the back end. So then they ask a question. This is for Citrix. Name one of the 5 components of Citrix. Now they got NetScaler, delivery controller, session host, storefront, PVS. What is the cloud? They may ask you that. Why would you want to use a print server to enable scalable printer management? How to troubleshoot a print server problem? What are print queues in a device manager? These are all the questions and some of the answers that you would ask for like a managed service cloud support position. So I just want to share that with you. The brother sent me this information, and I basically said I'll share it with the family and just let let them know. So that's cool. That's cool. What else do we got here? I'm not gonna probably get into that one. What else do we got? I had some other, I should have been a little bit better prepared, but I didn't really have a whole lot to share today. Let me go into my folder so I can find out what some of the things that I really want to get into. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with an article here. Now this article here, well, this came out November 15th. Now, how concerned should we be with artificial intelligence? Now, this is the article in Minneapolis, and I'm gonna play this video for you guys. I'm just waiting on this commercial, this goofy little car commercial. Come on, I hate these things. They take so long. They really take forever. Something called driver time. Okay, all right.
Now we have to worry about artificial intelligence. As if this world wasn't difficult enough, now we have to worry about artificial intelligence. What's real? What's fake? What information of ours is being used for what? But hold on, some say AI could also be a lifesaver.
Now, this is Talking Points on CBS News Minnesota.
Good evening and welcome to Talking Points. I'm the real Esme Murphy, although you have no way of really knowing that. AI can take my voice and mannerisms and make a fake me. And what about election commercials like this AI-generated piece?
Officials closed the city of San Francisco this morning, citing the escalating crime and fentanyl crisis.
Who's in charge here? It feels like the train is coming off the tracks.
But before you stick your head in the sand, tonight in Talking Points, we're going to examine what AI really is. We'll look at the dangers and also the good. Everything from life-saving medical care to finding you a date on a dating app. Tonight, you're going to hear from Senator Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota Secretary of State Steve Simon, as well as a cybersecurity expert and a U of M Carlson School professor. They'll share their perspectives on what experts say is the biggest change in our lives since the arrival of the internet. Let's start with our professor. Joining us right now is Professor Ravi Bhavna of the Carlson School of Management at the University of Minnesota. Thank you so much for coming on.
Nice to be here.
Okay. Sir, you are an expert on AI. I think a lot of people are confused, including us. What is AI? How would you define it?
Sure. A very simple way to think about it is AI is the science of using data to make better decisions. Right? At a fundamental level, it's as simple as that. The idea behind AI is to use huge trails of data that we have out there. For example, the entire written word, the corpus of all the text that's out there and use that today to build a model like ChatGPT, which is a large language model.
All right, we know about that.
You know, for instance, the President of the United States, or have him say things he didn't say. That's scary stuff.
Yes. So obviously, you know, with any technology, there are two sides, right? So a powerful general purpose technology like AI can have negative uses as well. And it's our job as a society to regulate that and to control for that. And the specific issue that you mentioned of things like deepfakes and others, you know, these problems essentially are the University of Minnesota. I mean, in fact, you know,
I thought they were gonna have a little bit more AI in the elections. What else did they talk about here? Benefits and risk of AI. This one was a little bit more. I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore about that. I thought they were gonna kind of go back and forth on a little quick panel and kind of get straight to the point and stuff. But yeah, as we know it, I published that report, or took some excerpts out of that McKinley report in my second volume, and I was talking about how, you know, that the AI is already set. They already know that it's going to affect a lot of black men. They didn't say black women. They didn't say black household. They specifically said black men. And I thought that was very interesting for them to single black men out like that. Speaking of which, when it comes to jobs, I was reached out to for a position. They call it a revenue systems administrator. So it's for Salesforce. And the location, they said, was 20 minutes outside of Minneapolis. It was hybrid, and they wanted you in office 4 times per week. Work from home on Friday. Full-time position, $95,000 to $120,000. They're not offering no visas. U.S. citizens only. Permanent residents. So $95,000 to $120,000 with a 15% bonus plus benefits. Now, being Salesforce certified, that'll help you stand out as a candidate. So it was a 2-step interview process. They were asking, well, why would you want to join? First, a phone conversation with the hiring manager, and then an on-site interview with all stakeholders, and the offer will be extended within 24 hours if it's a fit for both parties. That sounded like that would have been a cool position. I don't think that I was skilled enough for the position, and I really didn't want to be in 4 days a week anyway, you know. But anybody interested, if you plan on moving to Minneapolis, or they might even let you, they probably don't want to let you do remote. That's why they said that stakeholders and stuff. So there's going to be a lot of salespeople. They want an expertise in Salesforce automation. You're going to be the Salesforce SME. They want you to be proficient in using Salesforce dashboards for data management and business intelligence. They want you competent in project and task management, including system customization and data reporting. So, but that one, I don't know if that one was for me. You know, I was very honest with the recruiter. I said, well, you know, I'm not a SME when it comes to the Salesforce. There was a limited amount of time when I was doing some of that support. But I'm more than willing to help out one of the brothers. I'm more than willing to help out one of the brothers. And since I bored you to death with that AI guy, I thought he was going to kind of say a little more. There was an article here that came out on darkreading.com where they said there's only one way to solve the cybersec skills gap. And they said numerous think tanks are seeking to resolve the cybersecurity skills gap estimated by industry groups to stand at 3.4 million worldwide. It's an issue that cannot be resolved by relying upon the usual influx from higher education. The call has been to recruit in a less discriminating way by encouraging people in related professions or have some aptitude and relevant soft skills to enter the profession. But for the most part, that's not what's happening. Organizations are competing for resources from the same small pool of people, according to the Global Cybersecurity Outlook in 2023, published by the Worldwide Economic Forum. This may well threaten the viability of security initiatives if cybersecurity professionals are tempted to move jobs more frequently, leading to a more transient workforce. The best intentions can backfire, they say. However, encouraging non-skilled applicants into the sector without adequate provision could also backfire. A UK government report found 22% of cyber sector companies employ staff who lack the necessary skills needed. 44% say their job applicants lack the necessary technical skills to do the job. Those businesses had to either take unskilled staff or keep looking, leading to vacancies remaining open for months. Due to a poorly equipped workforce, 44% could not meet their business goals. Training is the only way forward, is what they're saying here. Another major hurdle is that many organizations are reluctant to invest in training because the job market is so volatile. There's a fear that by investing in new recruits, those staff members will become a flight risk and put themselves back into the talent pool. A lot of people will, but you got a good company, man. People ain't gonna want to go nowhere. They're not doing like how our parents, and when you look at the civil rights generation and before that, you might have had some people that might have been working at the plant and they might have been working there for 30, 40 years. Companies ain't keeping people like that. They're just not doing it. It says, in fact, the ISC2 survey found the opposite. Of the cyber professionals they spoke to, 64% said they take certifications to improve their skills, while 53% do so to stay up to date with current trends. Only 15% said the chief reason they undertake training is to apply for a job outside the organization. So there you go. Now it says, yet expecting businesses to shoulder the full cost of retraining seems unfair. Thankfully, we've seen some initiatives here, such as the ISC2 pledging 1 million free courses and exams, and universities such as Stanford, University of Maryland, and University of Colorado offering free online courses. So let's take a look at this real quick. Yes, ISC2 is offering free entry-level cybersecurity training and certification exams. For those on the sound of my voice, you need to go to isc2.org. isc2.org. And you need to go take the exam. The cybersecurity online. Let me see, what is this? The ISC2 cybersecurity course and exam. Okay. So you create an account. You complete the application form, select certified in cybersecurity as a certification of interest. Then once your application is complete, you'll become a candidate. It's free to join, and you gain access to the ISC2 certified in cybersecurity online self-paced training and a code. Then once you pass the exam, you complete the app form and pay a US $50 annual maintenance fee. Once that's complete, you'll become a certified member of ISC2, the world's largest association of certified cybersecurity professionals. So anybody listening to me right now, go ahead and go to isc2.org. Go ahead and check that out. It's worth it. It says most free training is needed, but it must be targeted. Okay. But there you go. I didn't know that was because I didn't read the whole article before. But that's something y'all might want to look at. On hackernews.com, I see an article where they're talking about that Russian hacker Sandworm caused a power outage in Ukraine amidst missile strikes. The notorious Russian hackers known as Sandworm targeted an electrical substation in Ukraine last year, causing a brief power outage in October 2022. The findings come from Google's Mandiant, which described the hack as a multi-event cyber attack leveraging a novel technique for impacting industrial control systems. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like they have the MicroSCADA server. Okay. The development marks Sandworm's continuous efforts to stage disruptive attacks and compromise the power grid using malware. Yeah, man, that's some dangerous stuff. That's some real dangerous stuff. So, you know, there is you know, an opening for cybersecurity positions. If you know what you're doing and you know how to interview, you know how to communicate and convey your skill set. Like I always say, I say keep 3 resumes on deck for 3 different positions. You might want to have one for cybersecurity. You might want to have one for sysadmin desktop support. You might have one for technical support engineer or business analyst. You know, 3 different resumes. You might want to really have 3 different resumes. So just giving you a quick update that before I put my 2 weeks in, remember I told y'all about the covert one-on-one summary, the covert plan where they try to say it wasn't a plan. But the initial conversation before I put my 2 weeks in is, well, you've been taking too many sick days. Come to find out, I had like 9. Because, you know, I was still doing my thing and whatnot. But they said that you had 9, which came to maybe be about 1 day a month. And the year's over. So you get 15 sick days. That's not including 2 weeks pandemic time if you catch the you know what. So when she started telling me about that, like, oh, well, this is a growing concern. The thing is you get 15 sick days. You get up to 15 sick days. So that really shouldn't even been brought up, to be quite honest. Some of these sick days, you know, due to HIPAA and stuff, you don't really have to tell nobody. She said, well, you know, the rule and the policy is after 3 days, you bring a doctor's note. But I never called in 3 days in a row. You know, so I said, well, what about that policy? So she used the I'm white and I say so and said, well, hey, look, you know, I reserve the right to require a doctor's note after 1 day. And I'm like, okay, well, I definitely haven't used it in, 15 days, and I wasn't going to use probably any more days by the end of the year. But, you know, like I said, I didn't have no intention of staying anyway. But after that, after the conversation that we had last week, when she brought that up out of the blue, she mentioned something about, well, there's a response. Remember all those HR questions that I initially had? She said the responses are very high level, specific to legal personnel items. And they indicated that you're not on a performance improvement plan at this time, so they do not really have any guidance to provide. Remember, we talked about that. We talked about that on some of my earlier, episodes. You're not on an improvement plan. But you could clearly see the way that they're going about this. It don't matter now because I'm out of here, but I just want to kind of break it down. And then they said, well, we're in the process of coaching toward knowledge retention, critical thinking. This is informal. We have no set dates on this at this time. Wait a minute, is that the new one? No. No. That's the one before. Okay, hold on. No, let me get that for y'all. Oh, let's see here. I'm reading. Okay, that was October 3. Wait a minute. Okay. So yeah. All right. So this is the breakdown on what happened in terms of PTO or, things that was taken. Basically said our last meeting was on October 19th. And she said, well, you haven't reached out to this person and they've been responsive on case questions. We're using some evidence tool now. That way you can match it up with the tech note. Have you known the product better about this and that, or whatever the case may be? So, but they say it's not a performance improvement plan, but the way that they're meeting, they're saying, okay, you need more productivity in these cases, or whatever the case may be. You need to get the minimum of this, that, and the third. Performance ranking. We discussed performance and how variable it is for each engineer. It involves not only performance metrics, but behaviors. Remember, I was trying to nail down exactly, okay, if you're going to say that this person needs to do this within 2 years versus somebody that's been doing 10 to 15, and she couldn't really explain that. She never really explained that whatsoever. So I said, well, you know what? I got something else going on anyway, so I wasn't really tripping. I said, well, look, they got a lot coming down the pipeline. I'm gonna let y'all deal with it. Y'all are fired. So just give me my saving fund and let me go on my way. So I ain't gotta really deal with them anymore. And if I happen to hear some more information, and where if they want to get me on an HR, if they want to get me on an exit interview, or if there's another one-on-one, I'll record that and play that for y'all. So, you see how I handle those things. But I have some stuff going on. But initially what they tried to do is they try to say, well, hey, look, anytime you call in sick, you need a doctor's note. You need a doctor's note from now on. And we could get you on what they call some kind of, basically they set you up with some program or some people. It didn't really make a lot of sense, because they said, well, when you're out, it affects the team and the performance and this, that, and the third and all that. And I'm like, okay, but that happens the same way with anybody else. If somebody's out or if they're not available, I'm going to get their cases anyway. So that really doesn't make any sense. So what I did was I said, well, all right, if they put you on this little program here where it's supposed to be, they put you on something for uninterrupted absences or whatever the case may be. I said, does that affect performance? Well, yeah, it does affect performance. I said, well, what's the difference? If a person's not performing, they're not performing. So, what difference does that really make? If they put you on a program where if you do call in, it doesn't count against something. I'm like, that sounds kind of crazy. If you're not at work, you're not at work. Now check this out. This is something that I thought was very important, and I think I did a Jackery generator review, and I'm thinking about getting that new Jackery 3000, y'all, because this is getting crazy. Now this is from utilitydive.com. Some guy by Robert Walton, he's a senior reporter, where they said much of North America faces elevated risk of blackouts and extreme winter conditions by the NERC. Climate change, rising energy demand, and natural gas dependence mean a massive grid disruption is inevitable, said Mark Spur, the legislative director at the International District Energy Association. Well, DP, what has this got to do with tech? Everything. We're talking about the grid. That's IT up to yin yang. Now, the dive brief, I don't know why they call it the dive brief, but they call it the dive brief, is much of the U.S. power systems face an elevated risk of blackouts and extreme weather. The North American Electric Reliability Corp warned in its 2023-2024 Winter Reliability Assessment published Wednesday. Now, this article came out November 9th. This is important, y'all. A key issue is the availability of natural gas supplies for generation and the operation of gas-fired power plants, NERC said. During extreme weather, generators can face operating difficulties in frigid temperatures. Supplies may be diverted for home heating, and gas production may slow due to wellhead and pipeline issues. NERC's recommendations for the cold months ahead include for reliability coordinators to monitor fuel adequacy, generators to weatherize power plants, and for balancing authorities to pay particular attention to the risk of demand underestimation ahead of extreme winter conditions. Now I talk about jobs and I talk about the bag and you know how does a black IT professional deal with race soldiers? I'm gonna put that bullshit on pause for the next 4 or 5 minutes right here, because this is about warming your ass. You see what I'm saying? This is about. I mean, this is like, what's that? Tomorrow Never Dies, or Tomorrow After Tomorrow, Day After Tomorrow. So this is some Day After Tomorrow type stuff. This is life or death when you really think about it, because none of us own any power plants. We don't have any access to that. You know, this is serious. So, and this is something that I have not seen on the news. I haven't seen this on the news. I don't believe they're making this up. Matter of fact, I think I might steal this picture. Oh yeah, I'm stealing this. I'm gonna steal this. I usually use my little artwork and stuff like that. I think I might steal this though. Okay, so NERC's recommendation. Okay, I already said that. Dive inside again. Most of the North American electric grid can manage through normal peak winter conditions, but in extreme weather, NERC said there are heightened risks extending across much of the eastern 2/3 of the continent. Quote, as observed in recent winter reliability events, over 20% of generating capacity has been forced offline when freezing temperatures extend over parts of North America that are not typically exposed to such conditions, the report warns. When electricity supplies become constrained, bulk power system, they say in parentheses, operators can face a simultaneous sharp increase in demand. Why did they do that? Windows 11. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission in February approved new cold weather reliability standards for U.S. generators. NERC proposed the standards in response to Winter Storm Erie in 2021, when Texas faced widespread blackouts and 250 people died. Additional cold weather standards recently adopted by NERC's board have been filed for FERC approval, said John Mora, NERC's Director of Reliability Assessments and Performance Analysis. He said that in a statement. This is him talking here. This is a positive development in ensuring industry is prepared for extreme cold weather. So they're saying the power plants need to be up to code. They need to get them together. And I agree. How much more do we have to read on this? I might just go ahead and just go through the whole thing here. Other issues NERC identified include the growing complexity of forecasting winter load and the curtailment of electricity transfers between reliability coordinators and balancing authorities. Now, this is what NERC said. While the curtailment alleviate an issue in one part of the system, curtailments contribute to supply shortages or affect local transmission system operations in another area, NERC said. NERC released its report ahead of FERC technical conference today. I don't know what FERC is. That must be something else with the energy. They said this report focused on reliability, and on Monday, FERC and NERC jointly published a final report on 2022's Winter Storm Elliott, calling for robust monitoring of how the new cold weather reliability standards are implemented. We'll look at that report in a second. Todd Schnitzler, that's a hell of a name, president and CEO of the Electric Power Association, said generators take those findings seriously, but added that the Winter Storm Elliott report also concluded no market model, region of the country, or fuel type is immune to the challenges experienced during the event. Schnitzler said a well-designed competitive power market, however, is the best foundation to serve power needs reliably and efficiently. Natural gas generation remains and will remain a vital component of a reliable system. You ain't really heard Jim Crow Joe talk about that, have you? Y'all might want to look at this. It says FERC and NERC release final report on lessons from Winter Storm Elliott. Now, you can go on FERC.gov, which is FERC.gov. Type in Winter Storm Elliott. And they got a report where, this is looking real frigid. This is extremely important. I'm seeing a picture, figure 1, winter reliability risk summary. Now they got 3 different categories for the risk assessment summary. High is red, potential for insufficient operating reserves in normal peak conditions. Elevated is orange, potential for sufficient operating reserves in above normal conditions. Low is gray, sufficient operating reserves expected. Florida is good. Looks like Mississippi, Alabama. What is that? Is that Arkansas? Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia looks good. California looks good. Montana, Colorado, it looks like Washington. It looks like the Dakotas. I'm not sure what else was in Oklahoma. Texas is elevated. Minnesota, Wisconsin, some of the Dakotas is. It looks like Virginia, Missouri. The Northeast is having some issues with that. Quebec is the whole Quebec is in orange. So, back to this. I did a review on those Jackery generators. Y'all might want to check into the Jackeries, man. Seriously. Because we don't really know what's going to happen. So I think I'm going to have to look at getting me another Jackery generator. I'm seriously going to have to consider, a Jackery generator. But I just wanted y'all to know about that. I'm going to go ahead and save this. What do y'all think about me doing some... I don't try to get into it too much because I know the Negroes need to spend a little more time on, but I game from time to time. What do y'all think about me doing some gaming reviews? And I definitely want to start doing some movie reviews when it comes to stuff that's based in technology. I want to start doing my little, analysis on some of those. I might start doing some of those and posting those. I'm seriously thinking about doing that. Now, I didn't get selected for that Wells Fargo development program. I told y'all to go check that out. They had some stuff for Black Americans where they basically said that, they could do like a development program for you. And, they were pretty much going to kind of put you in the game. I just applied for the hell of it. You know what I mean? I didn't get selected. I told my homies about it. I told them they should consider it. There is another article. And when it comes to technology, I thought it was important that I seen this on Hip Hop DX. Now, most of the time, Hip Hop DX, it's probably ran and operated by some corny ass white dudes, some vultures 9 times out of 10. I'm not sure who owns it, but when it comes to music, most of the time, they just talk about the unfortunate aspects of the artist as opposed to them really talking about the art form as itself. So, it's not so much as like a world star hip hop, but, we're dealing with technology, and the internet is all technology. But I seen an article that I seen not too long ago, but it came out October 13th, and it's talking about this guy that shows off his earnings from owning his own catalog in a single week. And this guy is a rapper from New Jersey called Russ. And he basically said on here, for inspirational purposes, and it's just kind of like how I showed in, on my channel, where I said, well, this is just for motivational purposes on, what you could get out of technology or whatever. This is music, so it's a little different. But for the purpose of it, it's important because, owning your own stuff, owning your publishing, owning masters, having copyrights and owning your things, especially when it comes to content on YouTube and things of that nature, you want to own whatever music you put on and whatever the case may be. I think that's a good idea. This guy says the money that I made this week just off the masters of my independent catalog, it fluctuates weekly, obviously, but I want to give you some insight. You don't got to be on the radio or signed to have the biggest album, or he said, or have the biggest album to get some cake. You do got to have a lot of good music and own it. He says, I use 2 different distributions, Vidia and TuneCore. I've used TuneCore before. He said, my deal with them is the same. I keep 100% and pay a one-time fee annually for unlimited uploads. I just wish artists knew the value of having a catalog instead of feeling like they got to make all the money they ever dreamed off of on one song. So when you go to his little tweet that he posted, he opened up one of them with a current balance of $152,000. Now, it showed a transaction, so it must have been a royalty payment of $32,000. Then another royalty payment a day later for $110,000, and another royalty payment of $9,000. Okay? Then he went over to TuneCore and showed his balance for $79,000. And it shows a little thing called withdrawal. So my point is TuneCore, and like I say, I don't try to go too heavy into, music and politics and stuff here too much. But for the sake of us talking about IT, I mean, you got to think, whoever came up with TuneCore, they're making a killing because they done figured out a way to kind of cut the middleman out. It's a distribution tool. It's pretty much a label when you're not signed to a major label. If you're, for example, like, okay, I'll say, I don't really care about these folks that much, but let's just say, remember when Chief Keef came out? We can't deny he was a pioneer of the drill. Okay, let's just say he didn't never want to sign to a major like this dude's talking about right here. It might have helped him to a certain degree, but let's just say he said, well, I'm just gonna ride with TuneCore. And for example, this other artist that I'll keep hearing about, this girl called Krayshawn Rock. Now, somebody that's moving the market all over the internet everywhere, if you're like her or you're like a FYBJ Main or something like that, man, you can go and you can just do your own YouTube thing and reap all the benefits. You could go through the nookie and cranny distribution and reap all the benefits. Something I learned about YouTube as well. If you get 1,000 subscribers, that's what we're trying to get, y'all. We need to get me 1,000 subscribers. You get 1,000 subscribers, you can start monetizing. I think you got to have a certain amount of watch hours and things, of that nature as well. You can make some funds. You can make something, because I mean, people with millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, if they have people that come back and watch their material a lot, not just necessarily just having millions and millions of people watching it all the time, man, you get a good 40, 50,000 people that's tuning in, and they at least watch an hour a piece. I mean, hey, those folks, they'll come back and support you. I treat YouTube like I don't watch TV that much no more. I be on YouTube. I be looking at different videos. I like to hear different perspectives. It might be some music I listen to, but for the most part, I listen to a lot of stories, or I might listen to technology, or I might listen to a, like an article or something like that. Those brothers and sisters, especially like the New Black Media or something, man, those brothers and sisters, they gonna get their watch time out of me, because I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna watch them a couple hours out of the week. Even if I'm not really watching it, I may listen to it. I could be driving, or I could be working or something like that. So you get 10, 15,000 people doing that, and that's a good thing. That's why, another thing is, like, when it comes to like profanity and stuff, I try to tone it down a bit, because, you could go a little farther with that when it comes to YouTube. And we're talking about technology. So, that's all encompassing that. That's definitely encompassing that. But yeah, I'm thinking about starting to do a little bit of analysis on, like I say, anything tech. It doesn't necessarily have to be me talking about a job or a certification all the damn time. Like, I got this interview with, or not an interview, but I just got this email with some company called CodeSync. A lot of times, how you guys know how I get down about the platform video games. There's a newsletter that I signed up because I think Planet Luna was coming out, and they had something called SteamWorld Build. They saying pre-order that, and there was a game that's coming out. Actually, I think it's coming out in 2024, and I've been waiting for it, but it's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox in spring 2024, which ain't that far. And y'all know how much of a big fan I am of Little Nightmares and Play Dead. I still haven't played Somerville yet. I've been waiting on it. I know I'm BSing, man. I should have had that together. They have an original soundtrack. I might stream a little bit on here, but I don't want to get into the copyrights. But yeah, I'm. What y'all thinking about that? What do y'all really think about me reviewing, games or devices and movies and stuff? I think I might want to start getting into that. I think Being Black in IT ain't just gonna be about, necessary, dealing with, just the work BS all the time. Sometimes I might want to do stuff a little lighter. You know what I mean? But I do want to cover all tech if possible. Anything involved in tech. Now, of course, I'm no expert on the jab and all this kind of stuff. But this was another thing that I did when I was reading off. Hey, this is one of the reasons why I'm rolling out. Y'all want folks to come in the office, and you got this going on. Now, this came off of MSN.com, where they said that there's a new what variant, and they say it's now dominant. And they say it's a highly infectious Omicron subvariant circulating since the summer. According to the CDC, they say it's gaining speed and overtook other variants such as the EG5, ERIS, during a 2-week period ending on November 11th. HV1 accounted for 29% of the new you-know-what infections in the U.S. per the CDC. So, in that regard, now they said, well, the symptoms of sore throat, congestion, runny nose, cough, fatigue, headache, muscles, fevers. I mean, this is the same stuff that I've been, man, why do I want to go in office and deal with a bunch of that? Why? Why would I want to do that? I'm not interested in being around all those folks that's not washing their hands or doing whatever. So I said, that's a deal breaker for me. Especially if the company basically said, hey, look, we're never going to have to go back in office. They're really pushing, y'all. They are pushing for this. Left and right. Now, there's something I want to play. Y'all going to be like, man, why is he playing this? This is crazy. This doesn't make no sense. But what if AI could reproduce this? Listen to this.
That's the last male of a species singing for a female who will never come. That's the
This right here is particularly chilling for me. Y'all know how much I'm an animal lover. I don't really have no cats or dogs or nothing like that, but this goes to show how crappy human beings are. This is the last call of the Kauai bird, I believe they call it, recorded in 1987 before going extinct. This was the last male left. It was singing for a female that would never come. That was the last recording that they had. This bird, they said, has been extinct since 1987. And the reason why it bothered me so much when you hear that sound, it almost felt sad. And I got a lot of real colonizer energy as I was listening to that bird sing. I know foundationals, I know y'all can feel my pain when I'm saying that. I got some real colonizer energy as I heard that bird sing. That was the suspicion that I had when I first heard this. But I'm going to read you this was off of the gram that I heard this. And somebody had some information talking about it. So they said this species was the last surviving member of the Mohu Day, which originated 15 to 20 million years prior during the Miocene, something, I don't know, making the only extinction of an entire avian family in modern times. Modern means post 1500 AD. So this species was once common in the subtropical forests of Kauai. Where is that at? Is that Hawaii or is that Papua New Guinea? Let's see where that's at real quick. Hawaii, yes. So it was once common in the subtropical forests of Kauai. I think I'm saying it right, Kauai. But its population began to decline in the 20th century. It was last seen in 1985, last heard in 1987. It went extinct due to a number of factors, including the introduction of non-native predators such as rats, mongooses, and pigs, mosquito-borne disease, and habitat destruction. Habitat destruction. Now, who destroys habitats? I want to play that one more so y'all could let that sink in.
Come.
That was a bone-chilling call. That's like me being the last Negro on earth, and I'm trying to holler at something. That's like me being the last Negro on earth. That was bone-chilling, y'all. The reason why I asked that is because I've been hearing about what AI can do. Okay. I've been hearing what AI can do. And they said that they use something like AI or something to find out how a mummy sounds or something like that. It was something. Oh, they recreated a mummy's voice. Now check this out.
Scientists were able to mimic Nessie Amun's voice by recreating his mouth and vocal cords with a 3D printer. It allowed them to produce a single sound.
Yes.
Scientists were able to mimic Nessie Amun's voice.
Yeah, I don't know if he sounded like that, man. And it was something else. I don't remember, but it was something else where they said that they could use. Was it a whale or not a whale? I don't remember what it was. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But that's why one of the reasons why I played that bird. Like, can they turn around and recreate some stuff, pretty much like bring stuff from the dead when it comes? I don't know. Some of this stuff is really, really weird. And I feel bad for that bird, man. Yeah, people ain't SHI. Yep. I know. We ain't SHI. I know. Human beings destroy everything. But no, let me see what else I got to cover for y'all before we get up out of here. I'm trying to think if there were some other remote positions that I found out about. I'm trying to remember. Let me see. Is this it here? No. Let's see if we can. There was something that I wanted to show you guys, but I don't remember what it is. It was something that I wanted to kind of bring up. It was something I wanted to bring up. I guess it wasn't important. I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded to y'all. You know, hey, I appreciate everybody like, share, and subscribe. Oh, no. Hold on. Wait a minute. There was a company here, and I believe they're out of Columbus, Indiana. And they're called Cummins. Let me take a look and see if they got any remote stuff going on. Because I always want to kind of put y'all up on something if it's something that, you know, because I signed up for a newsletter. I think I applied there before. Oh, that's hybrid in Columbus, Indiana. Potential for partial remote product owners and stuff. I'm telling you, they want folks to come back in. For the right price, I might consider, but man, I'm good. I could do everything I need to do. Another thing I want to tell y'all. Yeah, it hits the best of us. It hits the best of us. You know, last episode I had my guy on here talking about, you know, how he got scammed and then I end up getting scammed. It happens to the best of us. You know, a lot of times, you know, you may be on these services, you get on the gram, whatever, you thinking that, you know, another black person is on the up and up. Cash app them, they don't do you right. And you know what? All this really does is it just lets me know, just go ahead and write that off on number one. Number two, you know, use Upwork or Fiverr. Yeah. Use Upwork or Fiverr, man. Use Upwork or Fiverr, and just get it off your chest, because you want to be able to look when you're looking at people you want to hire to do something. A lot of times, like I said, you're looking at your folks like, man, I want to put it in a black hand, but we got